All right, indeed. Good evening, Abuja. Good evening, Nigeria. Wherever you're listening to us from, this is Raypower 100.5 FM, and I am your girl Brenda right here, back with the Wednesday edition of Sports Beats Niger in 30 minutes this time around. Sports Beats now on Wednesday edition will be running from 3:30 to 4 p.m., where we'll talk about everything around Nigerian sports, Nigeria football, and of course the administration of sports in Nigeria as well as the issues arise. But yeah, it's good to be back here on the show. Do you miss me? I know you missed me, and I missed you too. But it's good to be back after the long sabbatical leave. Yeah, but so let's get right into the activities. So much happened in the world of sports in Nigeria in the last couple of days. I mean, beginning of course with the Super Falcons who are preparing for the WAFCON 2026. Yes, they kicked off a preparation match against Cameroon in the two-legged match, and in the first leg they lost 1-0, but in the second leg the Super Falcons came back to show dominance that they are the queens of African football by winning that one 3-1 in the second leg there, thereby going through 3-1, 3-2 on aggregate to beat Cameroon, preparing for the WAFCON. And this game, like I said, is a preparatory game for the WAFCON. Yes, talking about the WAFCON now, there's been news and rumors around the globe, or should I say around, that the WAFCON most likely will be postponed, but we've not gotten, actual news confirmation from CAF, but they say there's no smoke without fire, right? I guess we're expecting CAF to, succumb to the rumor, or perhaps accept, or should I say at this point now, confirm the rumors rather that we have been experiencing, that CAF most likely will be postponed due to lack of preparations, or should I say Morocco has said that, they are not ready to host the WAFCON, so much is ongoing in their country, and they need to focus on infrastructure. But we just know they just finished hosting the AFCON. So, I mean, one will argue that what infrastructure are they talking about? But yeah, that has been the news around the block, that most likely the WAFCON will not take place in Morocco and will not even take place in March. As it is at this time, we've not even seen a countdown from CAF saying we are counting down to March 17. But ideally, it was scheduled for March 17 to run through April 3rd. But fingers crossed on that issue. Hopefully, before the week runs out, there will be an update as regards to if the WAFCON now will hold in Morocco, or if it will even hold this match, or perhaps move to a later date. But the calendar for 2026 is kind of packed. The FIFA World Cup is also lined up for this year. So many activities lined up. So what window do they have to actually put the WAFCON, to get played? But we'll see what happens in the coming days. If Morocco gets to host it, that also will be made known. If not, the news from CAF is what we're expecting. But now, just talking about the Super Falcons, I mean, there's been quite an interesting run for them, winning the 10th title in 2025, just to July, and then back in 2026 now, they're going to defend that title. Will it be 11? That also we'll wait and see what happens. But the Super Falcons are grouped in Group C of the WAFCON alongside Egypt, Malawi, and Tanzania. Yes, a lot of people are predicting that the Super Falcons will actually qualify out of this group as against the Egyptians and the Malawians, who are actually debutants for the tournament. But like they always say, there are no underdogs in football these days. So we will not rule Malawi out. We will not say that Egyptians are not strong enough. They have been developing their women football, and the Malawians have also shown that for them to get to this point, they know what they are doing. But it is Group C that the Super Falcons will be contending in to progress to the next round and perhaps go for an 11th WAFCON title. And let's just take it away again that the Super Falcons are the most decorated team when it comes to women football in the African continent. You can even argue in the world, because no women national team has actually won a continental title for that long, and 10 titles so far for Nigeria Super Falcons. Quite a remarkable one there. But now, still talking about women football, now let's take it now to the Nigeria Women's League as well. The matches are ongoing, and the contention, should I say the battle now for continental slots and the title race gets very intense as the group, the first stanza gets into the closing stages. Talking about the NWF and the Nigeria Women's Football League. The match day 9 done and dusted. We're heading into match day 10. But as it stands, if for anything the result ends like this now, 3 teams from each of the group will go to the Super 6. And the Super 6 is where 6 teams will play a playoff to qualify to get a winner for the league. As it stands now in Group 8, Bayelsa United, Bayelsa Queens, I beg your pardon, I always keep calling them Bayelsa United. Well, Bayelsa Queens are currently topping the Group A, and Bayelsa Queens are the defending champion, also the six-time champions of the NWFL, topping the table there in Group A with 21 points. Rivers Angels in second place with 21 points as well. Edo Queens, level 18 points there in third place. And in the bottom side of Group A, this Bomb Angels, Niger Rattles, Abuja-based team, that's Niger Rattles with 5 points, and Pace Setters Queens. One would say that the Pace Setters Queens, they are just coming into the NWFL as a top flight football, and it's expected for them not to even make progress. But yes, they are actually just, learning the course of professional football, but they're sitting there in bottom place there with 1 point out of 9 games. That's quite poor for new boys who should actually give the old girls a run for their money. I beg your pardon. But then in Group B, we have FC Robo there with 21 points on top of the table. Remo Stars ladies as well, 18 points in second place. Nasarawa Amazons, 18 place also in second. 18 points in second place. And in the bottom side, there's Danza ladies with 7 points from 9 games. Confluence Queens in ninth place there with 6 points from 9 games. And Ahudayam Queens. Yeah, this particular football team, it's quite difficult to call their name, but I'll just tell you a little bit about them. They're actually playing their home football in Abia, where Abia Angels also play their game as well. So they are the team from Abia State, and they are currently bottom of the Group B log. But it's quite interesting down there because Sandaza Ladies is just 2 points ahead of the bottom place, and Confluence Queens just 1 point ahead of the bottom place. So anybody can get into the relegation zone. But if it ends like this, it's going to be Bayelsa Queens, Rivers Angels, Edo Queens who pulls through, and of course FC Orobo in Group B, Remo Stars Ladies, and Nasarawa Amazons who are going to be pulling through to the Super 6. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and see what the coming days will be like, because it's just March day 9, like about 3 more games left to be played before the first stanza of the NWFL 2025-26 season wraps up. And now that takes us to the Nigeria Premier League. As I told you, today's edition is all about Nigerian football, so we'll be talking all on that. And Nigeria Premier League is also quite interesting now, talking about the title race and the standing on the table after March day 28. Shocking to everybody, after March 28th, Rangers International, former champions, quite top the table there. But what is interesting about the Nigeria Premier League is that the table toppers are not in the clear, because anybody can get on top of the table. So the top of the table right now is Rangers International with 47 points from 28 games. There's Rivers United as well, 46 points from 25 games, with 3 games outstanding. So that tells you that they stand on an advantage going into this one. And then Nasarawa United, they're shockingly for everybody who were struggling to relegate from relegation last season, are now third on the log with Continental Hopes, 44 points from 28 games. And in the bottom place there, you have the likes of Enyimba, Kwara United, Wiki Torres, Kano Pillars, Ramos Stars, and Ku Khalifat struggling in the relegation waters. But it is quite shocking for a lot of people, because Enyimba and Kano Pillars are one of the powerhouses when it comes to the NWFL. And no doubt, just to talk more on the fact that this standing currently on the MPFL is quite shocking, I will bring in a guest on who will be talking about, the MPFL, I beg your pardon, and why it is that these results are not, or should not be a shock to some of us, precisely with the fact that Rangers were just struggling sometime in the league, and now they are on top of the MPFL table. Well, we'll take a short break and we'll come back. We'll have our guests join us. So quickly stay tuned and don't go anywhere. It is Sports Beats, and this is Raypower 100.5 FM. All right, welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Raypower, like you rightly heard there, and this is Sports Space, the Wednesday edition, where we get to talk about everything around Nigerian sports. And as you just heard from the beginning, if you didn't join us, I spoke about the Super Falcons, their victory against Cameroon, and getting back into winning ways in preparation for the WAFCON, and also talked about the Nigerian Women Football League currently ongoing, and the slots, or the battle for the Super 6 slots going on in the Nigerian Women's Football League. And then we move to the NPFL, that is the Nigeria Premier Football League, the top flight football league in the country for the men. We're also going to be talking about the fight for continental slots and the battle for the glory, the trophy. That's talking about the MPFL trophy. And currently joining me right now is the media officer of Rangers International, who are the table toppers of the MPFL, currently talking about Azubike Onyedikachi. Azubike, good evening and welcome to Sports Beats on Raypower FM.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here with you guys.
All right, so quickly, I just rolled out Rangers and their shocking move to the top of the table. Tell us what was the secret behind this? Because in just like March, the early period of the league, Rangers was seen struggling, but all of a sudden they are now sitting on top of the Premier League table with although 47 points as against Rivers in second place with 46 points. What is the story behind this sudden leap?
Uh, I don't think there is. Thank you very much, Shima. I'm really pleased to be here. I want to say hello to all our fans. I don't think there is anything like sudden success. It's probably it takes a while to build. It consistency over a period of time, small bricks, brick by brick, and the house gets built. So it's been a cumulative effort from the management and the coaches that has translated in what we are seeing now to look like it's been an immediate success. So both from the management, the consistency over the period of this season, and then the coaches too, they have brought in their technical know-how to be able to make us get to the points we are right now.
Yeah, now talking about coaching, I mean, we've seen that Ile Chuku, the head coach of Rangers, have been actively involved with the Super Eagles, and one would say that that was the reason behind some of the lapses they had in the early stages of the league. But now he's back. Is it as though because of his return to the league that there's been a massive change, or it's just general player acquisition and player morale that has changed from these players?
I think if you notice, Rangers have quite a good number of new players and the young team. So in the early stages of the season, we're trying to adapt to each other, try to understand ourselves better. And at some points, it's just the natural phenomenon of life. Something has to click, just like I said. And with the expertise of the coaches, just like I said, going to the national level to acquire some of these skills also has a part it plays in the team. And also the ones that are on ground also have been able to hold for the team, the team spirit and the unity that have over the time been built gradually to be able to get us to this point we are. No. So generally speaking, I think is a long-term effort, not just because of
the return, the full return of Ile Chuku to the squad. Yeah. All right, so now looking at the table, you see that Rangers is 47 points, Rivers United 46, and Nasarawa United 44. Are you optimistic that this is the season for Rangers, or are you just getting for continental slot, not the title this time around? Because it looks quite close on top of the table.
Yes, we are here to compete, and I want to employ the words of technical advice. We are here to compete, and we are here to win, not minding what other teams are doing. So I don't think we're under pressure to perform. We are just doing our own thing, and it happens that at the end of the day, we are trying. We want to win the league, definitely. But we're not doing it because we are under pressure to perform or any sort of thing like that.
All right. It has been, let's divert a little bit from Rangers. There's been a thing of concern for most Nigerians that teams in the MPFL go to continental competitions and don't do very well. Rangers have also been there before. We were expecting so much from Rangers, having put up a very dominant performance when they won the league. That's 2 seasons ago, and now we have seen that Rangers is back on top of the league, and if they do win this league this time around, at the likes of Rivers United and Nasarawa United, what do you advise, or what do you think is wrong with the fact that we don't perform well when it goes to continental shipping, and what should we change going into continental competitions next season?
I think the league is growing, if you ask me. The league is generally growing because these days any team can go anywhere and pick a result and pick a point. So that's a plus to the administration of the league. And secondly, I want to make an instance for us at Rangers. Experiences has a part to play in all of this. Going to the continent the last time was some really not a new experience.
It was the first time in a long time.
In a long time, yeah. You understand, right? So it was somehow overwhelming, and somehow it was. So now we are working not just as a novice. We are coming from a place of knowing. We understand how the league and the competition formation works better now. So there's every tendency that going out there now, they're going to, perform veritably very well. That's just basically it. So going forward, we're just very, very optimistic because it has taken us a time to build. And I think looking back also, you find out that there's this inconsistency with how Nigerian teams work, because you can see a very beautiful team that ends up winning the league, and before you know it, the whole player dissipates.
I was just going to get to that point, but take it away, take it away. I was getting there. I was like, what are the teams not doing to keep the players? Because it's not about winning the league. It's about having players that can actually go there and actually perform on the continental so. But what is the issue? Why are players leaving immediately after the league or the win the league?
I think to be honest, I think most of these players are just looking for
greener pastures.
You get, so they have families and they have, so wherever the opportunity is, they don't mind if it's in Somalia. They will just go and get it.
Or Iraq or Iran.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I think better welfare, which we as Rangers are hearing towards, or we are working upon, we're not yet there, but we are gradually building those, making those reality possible, to be able to pay your players very well.
To keep them.
Their welfare should be, their welfare should be very, very of utmost importance to be able to make them want to stay. They have the belief in the system, and they have the belief in what you're trying to build, which our GM over the years have stressed in some of his strategic plans. So if you can sustain that going forward, I think anywhere in the world you can go there and dominate.
So
not just in Africa.
So now you're telling us that if Rangers Paraventure wins the league, which is not far from them as well, we're not going to see the whole players, like you rightly pointed out in our first conversation, our earlier conversation, that you said most of the players left the team after last season and he had to regroup, that was the reason why you were struggling. So now are you saying that Rangers in particular will make sure that players don't leave the club after the season, so that we don't have to face struggles on continental front?
Most definitely. Like I said, the experience is on our side now. It takes some of these things to happen to you for you to understand it better. So we now understand how the whole system plays. We understand the way to better work with the players to be able to get maximum results. So definitely, if you find ourselves in the continent, which we are likely going to do, I believe, believe you me, we are going to perform creditably well. I'm not just mixing words. Sometimes you can feel it from the prayer. There's this spirit among the teammates, and there's this there's this unity, there's this bonding that you will see. It can translate to and see you take on any team and beat them anytime, anything.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed. And when that time happens, if it does happen, we will be here to celebrate with Rangers International. I mean, when you talk about the old boys in the MPFL, of course, give it to you. Rangers have played a major role in staying in the MPFL for a very long time, and they have been doing so well, winning the league in 2024, and now they're hoping to go in for the league as well, and perhaps a continental slot. But hopefully, good luck to you, Azubike, and the rest of the team. When it happens, we'll come back to talk to you. But thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening.
Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. That was the media officer of Rangers International, Zubike Oyedikachi. He spoke there profoundly and confidently about Rangers winning the league. He said they are going for continental slot. Even if they don't win the league, continental slot is guaranteed for them. And if you look at the current standing in the MPFL table, you will agree with me that it is not totally in the pocket for Rangers yet, as long as also Rivers United and Nasarawa United, because they are sharing just 1 point apiece each other. Talking about Rangers in 47 points there, away from 28 games. Rivers United 46 points with 3 games outstanding, just a point behind Rangers at the top of the table. And then Nasarawa United, shockingly, like I told you earlier, almost relegating last season, coming to top the table and going for continental slot there with 44 points. And in 4th place also, it is Abia Warriors with 43 points, while Bender Insurance coming 5th place with 41 points, level on point with Shooting Stars in 6th place. So it is quite a very intensive one there on top of the table. 6 top table toppers there, and it could be anybody's game. But for Rivers United, they have an advantage, having had 3 games outstanding to play due to their involvement on Continental Showpiece, which they woefully lost out, coming back home to focus on the league. Now, hopefully, they make a thing out of this league and go back to the continent to make us proud next season. But in the bottom place, it is quite shocking because the big boys are struggling in the relegation zone. Talking about the likes of Enyimba in 15th place with 33 points, Kwara United there with 32 points. Ricky Torres also level on points to Kwara United, and Kano Pillars also a 32 point there from 28 games. Ramos Stars 30 points, the defending champion. It is a shock for everybody that why is Ramos Stars in 19th place in the MPFL table. It has never been seen that a defending champion goes as down as the relegation water. It's always from top to the middle class. Like Rangers did last season, they left the middle class of the top table to the middle class. They just survived the season. But for Ramos Stars, it is almost bottom place. They're 30 points away from 28 games played so far. Cook Khalifat, new boys in the league, also 29 points at bottom place. They're in 20th position. Well, we'll see what happens because March 29 is upon us this weekend, and then perhaps it'll get more interesting and more intense as the leagues unfold. But it's much we can take on the show this evening. And when we come back next week, we'll talk about what's happening in the NWFL, who is going to the Super Six, and also precisely or perhaps who will be making it to the continental slot when it comes to the MPFL. And of course, the Super Falcons will be up for talks as CAF, whether or not to postpone the WAFCON. That all will be up for talks when we come back here on the show next week, Wednesday. So keep it logged, keep it date. It is Brenda saying, see you next time. Sports Beat on Raypower 100.5 FM.
Raypower Sport.